So for the board managers today, we were planning to go out and tour Lake Dunlap. But Dave McMullen's out on an issue at Wells Ranch. I'm sure Carrie will fill us in on here in a minute. So we decided just to postpone it. So we'll just postpone it to next month, and we'll do the tour, next month because David's not here to walk us through it. But other than that, we'll go ahead and get started today. Is there any, in your packet there, any questions or concerns about the minutes that was provided? I didn't see any issues with it. Anybody else have any comments or problems? Okay, no issues with the minutes. Okay, we'll go straight to, Carrie, do you want to kick off with talking about Wells Ranch, and then we'll go into Adam's report. So go ahead, Carrie.
Yeah, so the operators discovered this morning the header on the booster station at Wells Ranch, which David was saying he thinks it's a 48-inch header. He wasn't certain of that, but the flange on the end is failing and is in danger of imminent failure. So they're scrambling right now, trying to see what parts they need and locate those parts to get it replaced. Crossing our fingers and keeping our feet off the floor that it's going to hold until we get the parts. Once we get ready to replace it, Wells Ranch will be down for several hours. So operationally, we're asking that everybody, see what accommodations you can make to pull water from somewhere else before we actually shut down. We'll reach out to everybody and let you know. I think you can, you hope for the best, but I think we can plan on a full day of being, a full work day being without water for that once they start the work. So, we're looking at Saws, Marion, Springs Hill, Green Valley, East Central, Converse, Cibolo. I think that covers everybody. Yeah, crystal clear. Sorry. Yeah. So anyway, that's where David is right now. And as soon as we get more information, we'll coordinate with everybody. Hopefully tomorrow. It's all dependent on locating the parts. The flange is I think he called it a universal flange. I'm not familiar with them, but it's like a compression fitting almost, as opposed to a bolted flange.
And what is it? Just on one well? I mean, is it on a well, or where's it?
It's the pump station coming out of Wells Ranch.
Coming out.
So
okay. So, like, if he gets the parts on hand, I mean, kind of what's the timeline to let everybody know that you're going to commence work? What we would like to do is just give everybody 24 hours notice. If you need more time, let us know, and we'll coordinate. But what we're afraid of is that thing could blow out any minute. So we're wanting to expedite as much as possible. Yeah.
I don't know where y'all normally operate at. I assume we're filling every storage tank between Wells Ranch and Saws that we can.
To the best of our ability.
Yeah.
We are having problems keeping the tanks full right now, or even filling them. So yeah, we'll get as much in there as we can.
And if you can't get the parts in a timely fashion?
A longer repair period. I'm not sure exactly what that fix will be, but it just means add a few hours to whatever that fix is. I think we can get the parts. It's just, you start in New Haven and end up in, Los Angeles and making phone calls and somewhere somebody usually has it. It's just a matter of where it's at and how soon can you get it here.
Well, I think there's some things that I know in my system I can immediately do to try to reduce demand. Some of that is not going to be publicly transparent, right? I mean, like one of the biggest things, that I could do is like stop construction water. I mean, that would be, but that's going to have an effect. I mean, so I think we do need to think through, I could do some other things, push more well water in my system and stuff like that, but I've become limited over time. I mean, so we probably need to think through like how we're going to communicate, because it's going to be public, at some point. We need to have a good communication plan as well. I mean, it's kind of all on us retailers to figure out how to do that, of course, but we need notice, right? If we're having trouble filling tanks, then I need to reduce demand now to help fill tanks. So that's going to become public is my point. I mean, as soon as I tell contractors that we're just cutting off water for about the next 3 or 4 days, then that's an impact, you know, it's going to start hearing.
So you said you want to give everyone 24 hours notice. Are you saying basically tomorrow you want to start doing the repairs and now is the 24-hour notice? Are you saying that
No,
you get the parts tomorrow and then Friday? I don't ever like doing like my preference on a repair is you make it tomorrow, not on a Friday.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, for sure.
yeah. And that's, you know, that's kind of coordination we need to do with everybody to, you know, find the best time and, you know, you certainly don't want to do a shutdown starting at 7 a.m. on a weekday, you know, you're asking for it there. So, yeah, we'll, you know, if it requires more than 24 hours or if we need to make it on a certain day or, you know, if we need to start at midnight, we'll get all that figured out as soon as possible.
I mean, I don't need 24 hours. So you saying I've got the part now, I'm going to sit on it for 24 hours and take the chance that something gets worse or, you know, I like it to be in our control and not out of control. And right now it's in our control as best as possible. And so my preference, and I know I'm just one of y'all, is to be making this repair tomorrow.
Yeah.
If we can, and everybody's, you know, can make it through. Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's my preference, but I'm just kind of thinking maybe not everybody can get to where they need to be, you know, immediately. And so, you know, if we can, you know, if we had the parts and could start in an hour and everybody was down with it, we'd get started.
Yeah, I would just like y'all to be able to have as much water in the tanks as you possibly can, because you're going to have a catch-up window of 3 or 4 days of just trying to catch up, because we're trying to catch up, then you're trying to catch up. It's just, you know, fortunate thing is, looks like we may have some rain this weekend. Hopefully it's widespread enough that it impacts all of us. That should help us out some.
But that helped a little bit. For sure.
Yeah, I think doing it on a Friday, it's going to make it even harder to catch up.
Yeah.
Trying to spend your Saturday and Sunday trying to catch up in your high demand periods.
Yeah, so maybe, you know, if it comes to that, we wait Monday. Just gotta.
Can we push more through Dunlap too?
To an extent, but short term.
I don't know how much space you have there. Okay. All right.
We probably could, but Dunlap's pretty much running at full capacity right now too. So we wouldn't be able to make up much shortfall, if any, from Dunlap.
Well, I would recommend that, you know, once, you know, David gets his eyeballs on it and he gets, you know, a timeline on parts and everything, you probably just ought to blast, you know, call, of course, right? But I mean, blast an email with all the general managers on it.
Yes, sir.
That'd probably be the most effective way. So we know we all get it. We all hear the same thing. So we know what to do. That's what I would kind of recommend, you know, to help keep us all.
Yeah, I hope to have more information by the end of the day to share with everybody on where we're at and what the plan is.
Well, all righty. Okay. Any questions for Gary on that? And so hopefully, I mean, if you could, Gary, it'd be nice, just like maybe he gets out there and it's not a big a problem, you know, that we think it is right now. Tell us that too. that would also be good, right? Yeah. Tell us that too, right? So that would be helpful, you know, to make sure that we're not sweating it or we're not pulling some levers and causing a stir with our customers when it's unnecessary.
Find out the sky's not falling.
Yeah, that would be helpful too. So either way, that would be helpful. Okay. Sounds good, guys. We'll move on if there's no other discussion on that. We can also circle back around to it if we need to. Let's go to item number 2, Adam, for the drought update and your report, if there's anything to highlight there.
Nothing really to highlight other than we have gone into stage 1 drought restrictions following the GBRA drought contingency plan. Ours kind of follows theirs. So shifted out of that last week. And just so you know that Lake Dunlap, the last couple of weeks, we have been averaging about 12 MGD. I know it says right around 11, almost 11 here on this paper, but that's for the whole month. And the last 2 weeks, it's been in between 11 and 12. And that's its max that we can really operate out of that plant. I mean, we can peak, and we have peaked in the past up to almost 14 MGD. But anytime we peak in a day like that, it takes time to recover. So that's where we're at with Lake Dunlap. And then the Wells Ranch plant, just another highlight. We've also been almost max capacity through the month of August at Wells Ranch. So both plants have been peaking.
Yep.
Other than that, I don't really have anything else to share. It's been kind of business as usual. So if there's any questions.
Well, I was hoping, right, that we'll do this next month now, right? But when we go out to, the Lake Dunlap, that we could get a good visual on any, projects and stuff that you guys got going out there. I mean, I think that'd be helpful. And eventually going to Wells Ranch too, so we get an idea, of what that treatment plan is like. We'll get that done. We'll just do it next month. But thanks, Adam. I got no question. Anybody have any questions for Adam? Okay, sounds good. And water production update, it's on the same report, Adam. Is there anything else you need to hit on that?
No, there's nothing.
Okay, we'll go to item 4, and that's Kerry's updates on 4 Alpha Lake Dunlap.
Yeah, Bobby had a doctor's appointment, so he wasn't able to be here. The strainer improvements actually had an NTP for Monday of this week, September 1st. So they're getting started on that. We've also given NTP to Garver for the design for the additional membranes and the tank improvements projects. So that's underway. No updates. I didn't even have it on here, but on the interconnect, no updates on that with CRWA. Any questions on Lake Dunlap?
So what was the interconnect with our?
No updates on that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got no question. Anybody have any questions Lake Dunlap? Okay, cool.
Wells Ranch Emergency Generator Project. They are still waiting on a part. They've started some work. I'm sorry, I'm getting them mixed up. They have started work on the emergency generators, and they've started pulling wire. They have equipment in, so that they're out mobilized and getting moved on. Hayes Caldwell Phase 1 improvements. We're at the end with DN tanks. There's back and forth right now trying to get them wrapped up. The Phase 2 improvements, a lot of that work is dependent on Phase 1 being done. One of the things we're doing, the tank project, we're deleting the revegetation scope from that project. Keely's going to be on the same footprint for the ozone improvements, and we have revegetation in the Phase 2 project, so we're just deleting that scope of work from Phase 1. It's not a huge chunk of money, but we'll take what we can get in savings. Just didn't make any sense to do that twice. One of the things we've been hit with on Phase 2 is a change order proposal from the contractor. We knew that we could potentially see some increased costs for tariffs. They have around 30,000 and change for the impact of tariffs, but they also have over $100,000 for currency exchange rate. And that's a new one on me. At first, I didn't quite grasp what they were saying, but I've never had to deal with that before. Has anybody had to deal with currency exchange differences?
Nope. So I used to do big projects in Japan and stuff, right? And our contracts were wrote in US dollars. So, I mean, it is what it is. Any conversion was on the side of the contractor provided when we went to a local contractor, but it was paid in dollars. That's interesting. I mean, it's a new one on me.
Well, this is the Swedish krona, I think. And, but we ran some numbers, and if you go back to when the contract was executed till today, the change in the exchange rate, it's only like $20,000, a little over 20,000. So they're wanting like $130,000+. So, we, right now I'm not inclined to pay that.
Yeah.
And I'm putting out some calls to some other, colleagues and contracting officers to see if they've dealt with this before, but it's a new one on me. So we discussed it at the construction committee last week, and we're going to get some more information. We'll come back next month to the construction committee.
Okay. So that one's in the construction committee.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's appropriate.
Yeah, and touching on the construction committee, I won't go over our entire meeting, but some things that may be of consequence in the future for us here in this room is that the contractor is back working again at the I-10 Santa Clara relocation project. They're going to have to tie that in at some point, which means taking the pipeline offline for some amount of time. So we'll have to make sure we coordinate with that and that we're all well aware that there's going to be a coordinated shutdown for some amount of time while that tie-in gets done. Some challenges on the Hayes Caldwell Phase 1 with some small leaks around the new tank that was installed. They're still kind of working through that. DN thinks they can put like some hydrophobic sealant in there that may solve that problem. Sounded like DN didn't find that to be a major issue. Seemed to be for them a common thing that they run into when doing the tanks. We talked about the tariffs already, and they are working on getting those the mobile membrane unit up and running at Hayes Caldwell. That's important for the Hayes Caldwell group. Paul, I think, was supposed to be out there this week to correct some issues to get that unit up and running. And then they're still working through their pilot study.
All right. Thanks, sir. It sounded like it was a fun construction committee is what I heard. You had a good time.
They're all fun. We get a good group of people.
Yes.
So,
You had a good time. Okay, cool. Any question on Hayes Caldwell, Wells Ranch, or Lake Dunlap from where we are on those three? Anyone? Okay, sounds good. Let's go to item number 5. These are all like future updates.
So on the Wells Ranch 3 project, there really hasn't been any movement on that. Pursuant to the water supply study, I've met with the Wells Ranch 3 members, and we've talked about that project and also the Bloomberg project. Right now, there's a lot of consideration towards moving forward the Bloomberg project and Wells Ranch 3, possibly looking at going for Wilcox water as opposed to Carrizo, and making that another phase for the desal. Have another meeting pending with the Wells Ranch folks. We've been gathering some information and looking at options for how to advance the next project.
Okay.
I will say I did receive notification from County Line and also from Maxwell that they no longer wish to participate in the Wells Ranch 3 project. They were earmarked for 5,000 acre feet out of the 14,500. So that's another thing we need to talk about is whether or not, any other members,
I'll make it.
You'll bang the gavel.
Mike's in. All right, good.
That's what we got to, talk through. And there are actually multiple items on the Board of Trustees agenda to
we'll
talk about that and all the particulars.
Okay. And our next meeting's on the 15th of September, I think. Because the only people remaining that I know of is County Line, Green Valley, Springs Hill, and East Central. I meant Crystal Clear. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I screwed up my C's. It's one of those days. I'm sorry. Okay. Next meeting's on the 15th for those parties.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us about the upgrades at Wells 2 and 14 out at Wells Ranch? And just item C and D, I think that an update there.
Yeah, on the upgrades to Wells 2 and 14, I think they're still waiting on equipment to get in so they can mobilize. The well number 1 replacement, Weisinger is on site right now, getting the site clearing. They should be starting drilling in the next few days on that well.
Okay, that's good. You have any questions about that? So that's good Weisingers. I've used them before, right? So hopefully that'll get done pretty good. Okay, sounds good. Item number 6, and Carrie, unless you have something to talk about there, we kind of kick stuff around last board managers about the master plan development.
Yeah, I don't have anything new on that. Just
Okay.
that I think we need one. And
I do too.
for the out in the Wells Ranch, I really think we need to develop a model that looks at all the systems, along with Canyon Regional as one system,
Yeah.
to help us kind of get through until we can get some more infrastructure in the ground
To that end, I think we should probably take a swing at writing a scope for this master plan, because it's different than most, right? Like, because of just what you said. And if we could prepare a scope for it, that would be good. Something that I'm undertaking, just, sharing as Karen, right? I'm about to buy the software for, water modeling, right? And I'm doing that. I think Garver's helping me with that one. But the point is, if I've got that and Canyon Regional's got a model, putting these things together would really help us get to a pretty good, engineering solution. Because I actually think our capacities are very much different than our contracts. I know we got a contract committee, is working on fixing contracts, but I think the GPM and the peaking factors and all those, I think our systems exceed all of that. I mean, if you went back to just the straight contract back in the day, it doesn't take into account any improvements, that was done, over time and growth and anything else. So it'd be very helpful to have a master plan, even for the contract committee, because you can see what's capable, instead of just going with a number, what we think is capable, we actually have a plan or something. So I think it's a good idea, Kara. If we could work on a scope, that's inclusive of the many entities, it's going to be a big data gathering thing. I just finished a wastewater master plan, and I think it took us a while to gather up all the paper plans and get digitized. I can only imagine the undertaking for CRWA to get, digitized documents for the engineers to work off of, because it's not just you guys, it's like all of us.
Mm-hmm.
That's my point. It's going to be a lot of data collection. But anyway, okay, that sounds good, Kara. I mean, I think if we keep pursuing, staff keeps looking at it, if you guys have no objections, I think we should do that.
No, I don't. I think one of the struggles that I saw with the budget committee was just, well, and I think just over the years, we've been working so much on the large numbers for repair and replacement, just trying to catch up.
Yeah.
Being able to have a plan that says, hey, yeah, we noticed we got a challenge here on a pump header at Wells Ranch, and we think, that's now 20 years old, so maybe we need to do some work here or do some work there, and we think we need to do that next 2 years. Being able to lay that path forward, so we all just know, hey, the budget, your budget's not going to shift much because we're already collecting all this money, but here's where we're going to put it to use here, there.
Yeah.
There was questions on vehicles. That's a little bit more minor in
Sure.
scope of everything. Canyon Region only has a number, but I think where we can excel and where we can be helpful here on the board of managers level is working with staff, getting this unified message of, yeah, we did the Lake Dunlap tour and those strainers were terrible. They need to be replaced.
That's the point.
And then
then we're able to say, hey, where can we help you?
unified
David
message
Carey,
that
yeah,
goes to the
exactly.
budget committee saying, not only is staff saying, hey, we have an issue here, but your own
Very
managers
fair,
are
yeah.
saying it too. I think that's where it can be helpful.
No, I think it's a good idea. Couldn't agree more. Okay. Any other discussion on that topic? Michaela, if you don't mind, can you pull up the board trustees agenda item? I just want us to look, just go down to the business items. The rest is everything's pretty routine until you get down to general business.
Yeah.
So I was just perusing this beforehand. I don't think, well, anyway, I guess we just go through it. The first one, item A, that's the disbursement policy. That's the policy that I know the executive committee wanted to do in terms of, how disbursements are done. As a board manager guy, I don't really care. I mean, to me, that seems like between the executive committee and Carrie. So I don't think we should have a recommendation for that one. If you guys agree, then we certainly want. The second one was, the investment policy. That's kind of the same way. I will tell you, Carrie, that I just got mine approved by the Government Treasurers Association thing. So it gets a 2-year certification. Y'all would probably strive to do that because it says it's good for audits and stuff that you actually have a policy that's compliant with everything. Y'all might have done it already. I don't know, but I just got mine done. I don't have any recommendation on that one either.
This item's only on here because you have to do it annually, no matter what. Even if you make no changes, you've got to approve the investment policy every year.
That's all it is. I would go the next step if I was you guys, honestly, and get a certified. The certification is good for 2 years. It's the Government Treasurers Association of, I don't know what it's, GT something, I don't know. Okay, item C was an amendment for the 2025 budget to remove county lines obligation. I know this was discussed at the last Board of Trustees meeting, and it was pretty much, the budget was passed with the figures in there with the understanding that the trustees would come back and amend it.
That's item D.
Yeah, no,
Item D is a little different.
yeah.
We've got a-
That's different.
So
then.
they've,
I
in
misread
their,
that.
in their notification, they requested that they be removed from the 2025 budget, that the 2026 budget be amended to remove them. And then also that they be reimbursed all of their costs that they've expended for Wells Ranch 3. And then the notification I got from Maxwell only had a request to be removed from the 2026 budget.
And which makes sense. I mean, if they're
Yeah.
out of the project, it makes sense to.
Yeah.
So
So item C, D, and E is kind of be taken together, right?
To a large degree, yes, sir.
So the interesting thing is, okay, that's different. If you take them out of 2025 budget, fine, you're going to have a shortfall. That's what it's going to be, right? I mean, so I'm not really concerned about that one. But D, something that we have to come to grips with very quickly is how we're
how
going
we're
to,
going to pay for it.
yeah, who and how are we going to pay for 2026? So that's, what's that? Yeah. Yeah, Mike's just going to pay for everything.
So the thing about it that everyone should be aware of is if nobody else wants that 5,000 acre feet and wants to, take on those costs, then that increases the cost per acre foot for everybody at Wells Ranch.
Yeah, or you've got to terminate the leases.
Or we have to terminate the 5,000 acre feet in leases, and the cost would go from, how much is it right now?
Right now, it's like 185.
Yeah, and it would go up to 225.
And that's for everybody. That's how you,
That
Solve
would be
the problem.
for everybody in Wells Ranch.
I think once we have our meeting here in a couple of weeks, we'll have a lot more clarity on what we're going to do there. It
Yeah.
just comes at an awkward time. It'd have been nice to get the notification back in January, February, March timeframe and not September, but that's okay. We'll move forward with what we got and information we have in front of us.
Yeah.
So C and D is going to be an interesting discussion, or D and E rather, it's going to be an interesting discussion. Me personally, item E, I don't think that's a supportable, item, because the same is true for everyone else that's been paying for leases for Wells Ranch 3. I mean, are you going to reimburse everyone? You can't reimburse one. I mean, I think that's going to be a difficult row to hoe, but anyway, I just state my opinion. I could tell you that we would not support that. I would not support that. I would recommend to my trustees not to support that. Just so y'all know where I sit in public, right? That's where we sit on that one at Green Valley. And then, and then item number D, I don't know how the trustees could quite take action on that yet, unless we just want to put something in the budget for something that we haven't figured out. Because I don't know how you're going to start collecting on it.
It's just going to have to be unfunded. I don't know how else you do it. I mean, how do you continue to tell them you're responsible for something that they've said you don't want? Same thing with Maxwell. It's just going to be unfunded until we get a better answer on.
We've got to move really, really quick.
Yeah.
To figure out how we're going to divide, that I'll call it available 5,000 acre feet amongst anyone, because I don't know how you're going to pass it's going to be it'll be unfunded.
Well, and the challenge is it's in Gonzales County, and we're all aware of GBRA's challenges with their permits and how that's going to move forward.
Yeah.
And so this is Carrizo water in Gonzales County, and we don't have a very clear path forward with it right now, which makes it difficult to ask people to pick up, until you get some additional answers to questions.
Yeah. Wow, that's tough. Okay. But it's going to be an interesting meeting on Monday.
Yeah, so we had our review meeting we had a review meeting yesterday. If you go back, move up just a little bit to item 7, just something, to touch on.
Yeah.
We had the regional, the discrepancy in the plan where the consultant had the plan in the wrong county.
Oh, yeah.
Regional held their meeting Thursday. They understood that they needed to make that change. They made the change. There were a couple other minor changes Keene and Regional had asked for that ultimately can be just done in the next plan. And that's what the regional board decided to do, is just punt on those issues, but get the main discrepancy fixed. So that got fixed. We'll report on that in 7B. And then also in 7B, we'll have a quick introduction to the lobbyist, what's the correct political
Legislative
affairs consultant. We'll have a quick introduction of them. They'll probably give us some information on the special session, 1 and 2. Item 9 in executive session, I won't touch on what we will discuss in executive session, but I expect that 9A will be a little bit lengthy. And 9B is just Kerry. He's getting us his goals for the year. That should be a relatively quick topic for us.
Cool. Yeah, it's going to be a rodeo. So in terms of business items, right? I'm not feeling like we should probably make any recommendations from the board of managers level this month, unless you guys see something that I don't see. I mean, we could make a recommendation for staff to continue, developing, a master plan way ahead. We could do that if you guys don't mind. But other than that, I'm okay with making no recommendations this month if we have none to make. Be good to go. Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much, Michaela, for popping that up. Is there anything you guys want to talk about next meeting before we get out of here for this meeting? Now, next meeting for sure, I want to do Lake Dunlap. So hopefully we have David back to do that. So this would kind of be good too, because, well, it won't be getting cool yet, but it's wishful thinking. Then I want to go out to Wells Ranch too. After that, go out to Wells Ranch and then finally Hayes Caldwell. Right. So we hit all the treatment plants. And so we'll just postpone another month because of the Wells Ranch thing. Is there any agenda items that you guys want to discuss, board of managers wise, next month? What's that? I think so. Sounds right.
That's the Wednesday before.
Yeah.
10 o'clock. The first is on.
That's right.
I think we typically
Well, Columbus Day is on a weird day too. It's like on a Tuesday. Isn't it on Monday? Oh, it's Veterans Day in November. That's a weird day. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Unless we hear at the meeting Monday night, there's a number of people who think that. And staff did a good job to the members, find out when everyone's here so that we didn't schedule this meeting on the same day.
That's
It's always
a board
been a
meeting.
challenge that you come into September and we're like, we need to move this meeting. Staff's off on Columbus Day. A lot of other staffs are off as well. And then we're trying to pick a date at the meeting and it ends up on someone else's meeting day.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
It's just Columbus Day. I don't know.
Indigenous Peoples Day. I apologize.
Columbus Day. It's always been.
So we're looking at the Tuesday after, and that doesn't impact anyone's board meetings.
Okay. I didn't put 2 and 2 together that it was the same day. Now I do. So you think you're going to move it to the 14th?
That's
And
what it
it's,
looks like right now.
So something else too for, I'm tracking in October, R1 needs this board to take action on something too, right? For their bond business. Are you tracking it, Michael?
Yes.
Because I know in October, my board has to do something for Graham.
Yes.
So that's something, Brandon, on your 8th or 14th, you're going to have an RWA packet.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
It's phase 2 of the bonding stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know because Green Valley's going to take action on it. Well, I don't know. I don't know how you're going to do that because I don't meet until the 16th. When do you meet?
Yeah, they're late as well.
Yeah.
May not be.
I don't know how it may be in November's meeting, but I don't know I don't know.
Could we?
Graham's got to talk to you.
Yeah. Well, we had a board meeting last week and I remember now us talking about it, but can we take action here pending.
Contingent on the action of others. Yeah, of course. I
Yeah.
think there's that way. But Graham may be having this so far in advance that it's fine for us to approve it in November. I mean, there's no reason for the Board of Trustees not to approve it.
No.
That would just be,
Right.
No.
that'd be silly.
It'd actually be silly that we actually have to get.
Sure. But just make sure that your trustees know what's coming up. We really don't want your trustees like that last year when we had, or maybe it was 2 years ago when we had that Alliance debt issuance on and
Yeah.
trustees were just like, what in the world is this? Make
Yeah.
sure your trustees crystal clear and County Line and
I don't know.
Green Valley just know
Yeah.
that it's coming up. So because they're the ones that ultimately impacted. The rest of us aren't.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that we need to get, because I'm on, I gotta have a special next month anyway because of this. And so if I gotta move my special before the 14th, I don't know. Mike, we might have to too. And county, well, I talked to County Line. They're the third party in this thing, so.
I would think the Board of Trustees would be plenty comfortable authorizing Kerry to execute the contract documents after the other entities have
If
executed.
that's the
their-
case, we should be golden.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. That's all I
Hey,
can think of for next time. Anybody have anything else for next time?
Real quick, Focused Advocacy Group, our legislative affairs consultant,
Oh, yeah, cool.
they send us email updates every month. We're asking the Board of Managers, Board of Trustees, would anybody like to have those emails forwarded to them?
Yes.
Okay, well, you want to jot down names?
Green Valley.
STUD.
Green Valley. Green Valley.
Okay. Make sure you put it in STD.
County line. Crystal clear. Roger that. Okay,
You want it too, Chelsea?
Chelsea,
Okay.
you want it?
Development, and that impacts municipal or governmental, or the three things that we're working. Know that when you get the first one, you're refining it,
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Okay, anybody have anything else for next month? Carrie, you good? Okay, if it's all right with everybody, we will adjourn. Look at that. 40 minutes. Next month, we are going to take this tour if it here lifts the Pope.